Almost 10 years after Daisy reunited with her niece, the car behind this character hasn't changed. The sun is shining in the large front yard and the number 4 brass in front of the building door in the back is lit. Teacher. That night, when Diesel saw the true story of the owl, he went to his room. How much time has passed can only be seen from the chimney picture. 10 years ago, there were many pictures of pink beach balls and colorful hats, but Dudley Doris had no children. In this photo, a tall, blonde boy kisses his mother on his bike towards the fair while playing a video game with his father. There are no other signs in the house. But Harry Potter is still sleeping, but it won't take long. Her Aunt Petunia woke up and had a great sore throat that made her day better. Get up. Harry woke up. Her aunt knocked on the door again. Meeting! Anxiety. Harry heard the sound of the pot on the stove after listening to it in the kitchen. He set sail and tried to remember his dreams. Good. With a flying bike, he had an interesting feeling. He had the same dream as before. His aunt went back to the door. Are you awake? University students. Shut down, Harry said. Save now, you don't want me to cook bacon. I want everything to be fine on my father's birthday. Harry Ian. What did you say? My aunt knocked on the door. It does not matter. How can you forget that Harry got up slowly and found his socks? He saw a pair under the bed, and the spider took him out. Harry is addicted to spiders because the closet under the stairs is full of spiders where he sleeps. When he was done, he went to the kitchen. Dudley hid lots of tables inside his birthday gifts. Doodle specifically thinks about the new computer you need, rather than talking about TV and racing car. Dudley would have hated debts and gambling if Dudley had not been involved in killing someone, so the reason Dudley wanted a car was Harry's secret. Dudley's favorite pocket is Harry, but he rarely takes it. Harry didn't see this, but he was in a hurry. It looked like a bus with dark walls, but Harry was younger and weaker. The clothes he wore were over the old dollar because it was 4 times bigger than 10. Harry's face was thin, his knees bent, his hair black, and his eyes green. Dudley was wearing round glasses and duct tape when he pressed it to his face. Harry likes electricity. It's a little problem with his forehead. He's the owner until I get it. One day, Petunia asked her aunt how she did this. She once said, when my parents died in a car accident. Don't ask again. This is the first principle of living peacefully with a doll. Uncle Vernon returns to the kitchen and Harry Bacon. Comb. Hello. Good morning everyone is great. Uncle Vernon goes to the newspaper once a week and tells Harry that he should have a haircut. Harry wanted more hairstyles than the other kids in the class, but still his hair was growing elsewhere. Harry laid eggs when Doodle and his mother entered the kitchen. Graffiti Vernon looks like a mother. His big pink face, big neck, small blue eyes, and thick brown hair fell a little on his head. Aunt Petunia said she was like an angel. Harry said she looked like a pig with a wig. Harry puts a plate of egg and bacon on the table, but it's difficult because there is no room. Doda counted her talents. He has a face. 36. He looked at his family. Less than last year. Honey, I haven't counted Aunt Marg's gifts. You see, this is a great gift for moms and dads. That's fine, 37, Doda said shyly. Harry the Giant saw Dudley crack and managed to stop Dudley from moving around the table as soon as possible. Apparently, Uncle Petunia also noticed the danger and immediately said, If I go today, I'll get 2 more gifts. What is popcorn? Dudley thought for a moment. It takes a lot of effort. Finally, in a soft voice, Then I'm 30 years old. 30, Aunt Petunia said. 19, dear. Beautiful. Dudley got this package. Very good. Uncle Vernon laughed. Little Teck wants your money like his dad. Dudley, wait. You touched Dudley's hair. The phone rings and Auntie Petunia answers. Harry and Uncle Vernon saw Dudley unlock cars, cameras, radio-controlled aircraft, 16 new computer games, and a VCR. When Xenia Petunia came back from the phone, she tore the paper with her golden watch and got angry and scared. Bad news, Vernon, he said. Hospital. Fiji crossed her legs. I couldn't believe it. She shook her head to Harry. Dudley's lips were distant, but Harry's heart was pounding. Every year on Doda's birthday, his parents play games with their friends, go to the park, go to the snack bar, and go to the movies. Harry lives with his wife every year. Figure. An organized armed woman. He lives on 2 streets. Harry hated him. Cabbage could smell the house everywhere, and Mrs. Figure showed her all the pictures of the cat she was taking. How did you do this? Aunt Petunia looked at Harry and spoke as if she wanted to go. Harry knew that Miss Fagg must have regretted breaking his leg, but that was easy because Tippy remembered that Snow and Boss had died all year. It wasn't. "You can say the number," Uncle Vernon suggested. "Don't be silly, Vernon. He hates this man." Diesel always talked about Harry as if he didn't exist, or he looked bored but didn't get it that way. "Bourne, what's your name?" "Vacation in Mallorca," said Aunt Petunia. "You can leave me here," Harry continued. "He wants to watch TV, change his clothes, and play on Dota's computer." Aunt Petunia noticed she had swallowed a lemon. "Are you miserable again?" He looked back. "I'm not going to blow up my house, but they didn't listen," Harry said. Aunt Petunia said quietly, "I think we should take her to the zoo and get her in the car." "The car is new because it's not the only one." The Murrells started screaming louder. He wasn't really crying. He cried for years. But he said that if I kept his mouth shut, he would give me what I wanted, and I knew. "Little Doty Dam, don't cry. Your mother won't let me ruin your special day." Networks. I, 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 I'm coming!" The Murrell shouted in the middle of the big car. "I'm still walking." Harry smiled in pain away from his mother's arm. Then he rang the bell. "Oh my God, you're here!" Aunt Petunia was surprised. Dudley's best friend, Pierce Porkus, did not have time to visit his mother. A piercing is a terrible baby in a mouse's mouth. He is usually the person who throws a gun at the person behind him. Doodle never cried and never apologized. 30 minutes later, Harry, Pierce, and Dudley, sitting behind Doris, are incredibly lucky. This is the first time in your life. At the zoo, Uncle can't think of anything to do with him, but Uncle Vernon puts Harry aside before he leaves. "I warned you," he said, hugging Hardick towards his huge purple face. "Boy, I warned you. Nothing decided. Nothing. Now you're going to Christmas." "There's nothing I can do," Harry said, "to be honest." But Uncle Vernon didn't believe it. Nobody did. The problem is that strange things are happening around Harry. It would be nice to let Diesel's family members know that he did nothing. One day, Uncle Petunia returned with tired hair. She cut her almost bald hair with kitchen scissors and walked away. She threw the bracelet. Hides bad signs. Doodle looked at Harry and nodded. The next day, he started school by wearing loose t-shirts and contact lenses. But I woke up the next morning. Her hair was normal. Do this in the shower for a week. On another occasion, Aunt Petunia tried to dress her in an old and aggressive Dudley jacket, balloon gray. It looked like a tight-knit toy, but it wasn't very good for Harry. Anti-Petunias decided that they should be fired, but luckily, Harry was not punished. But when he climbed onto the roof of the school kitchen, he was very upset. When Harry is scared, Dudley's team chases after him to set him on fire. An angry letter from Principal Harry to Dazzly says Harry entered the school building. Best of all, he wanted to jump from the kitchen door when he called Uncle Vernon through the bathroom door, behind a large trash can. Harry thought the wind was coming towards him. But today, there is nothing wrong with that. While the room looks like a dress coat or cabbage, Doodle and piercing is perfect for a school day. Aunt Vernon complained after Aunt Petunia ran away. He likes to complain about many things. Workers, Harry, Congress, Harry, banks, Harry are favorites. It was a motorcycle this morning. "Verilla Bart," he said, as if driving a motorcycle. Suddenly Harry remembered, "I dreamed of being a motorcycle. He flies." Uncle Vernon crashed into a nearby car. He yelled at Harry and put his legs horizontally on his chair. His face is beating like a heartbeat and a mustache. "Don't get on the motorcycle." Dudley and Pierce were cursed. "I don't know," said Harry. "This is just a dream." But he didn't want to say anything. If Saltwater doesn't like asking questions, think about what you would say in a dream or manga. Dangerous thoughts arise. It was a sunny week and the zoo was full of families. Dolly's knocked on the door and bought a large chocolate ice cream from Pierce. Then the smiling woman keeps Harry in the truck and buys him cheap lemonade before asking what he wants. "Not bad," Harry scratched his head at the gorilla and laughed. It looked like it was written, but it wasn't gold. It was the best morning for Harry on a busy day. He has carefully left Durley Street so the animals don't get bored while eating, and Pierce isn't pursuing his favorite hobby, like killing him. They eat at a zoo restaurant, but Dodo loses her temper because Nick Glory doesn't have enough ice cream. Uncle Vernon bought him more ice cream, and Harry was able to eat the first ice cream. Harry realizes he needs to know this will take some time. After lunch, they went to the palletized house. It was quiet and dark, walls and windows glowing. Behind the glass, many lizards hover over trees and rocks. Doodle and Pierce want to see the beast, Rattles, and Crushed Dragon. Dudley quickly caught the largest snake in the area. He hugged Uncle Vernon twice and threw him away, but he was not in good health at the time, was really sleeping. Doodle stood up and saw the shiny brown board clinging to the glass. "Let's go. Report to my father." Uncle Vernon slipped into the glass, but the return was not easy. "Repeat," Dudley ordered. Uncle Vernon hit the window with music, but the snake attacked. Boring. Doda ate flowers. He's turning the cards. Harry looked towards the line and went to the front of the tank. If his anger subsides, he won't be surprised. Day after day, this ignorant organization did not attack the glass. This is worse than thinking of a room as a room. The empty Petunia knocks on the awakening door to wake you up. At least I went to the rest of the house. Suddenly, the snake's eyes opened. He was shaking carefully, so he looked at Harry and opened his eyes. Flash. Harry looked at him. Then he looked around to see if anyone was there. Brock blinked as soon as he saw the snake. Just then, the snake saw Uncle Vernon and Uncle Graffiti and went up to the roof. It gave Harry a clear idea. I always knew. There, Harry whispered into the mirror, but when he heard the snake, he couldn't believe it. He must be bored. The snake turned its head. Where did you come from? Asked Harry. The snake puts its tail in a small mirror-like mark. Harry looked at him. Anaconda, Brazil. What's up? The dragon glued its tail to the mark and read it to Harry. This pattern was carved in the zoo. Oh, didn't you go to Brazil? The snake's head shook and froze behind Harry. Dudley! Dosely! Look at that snake! Don't believe what you're doing! Doodle saw as much as possible. Anyway, he pressed it to Harry's chest. He caught Harry and fell on the concrete floor. What happened next happened so quickly that no one knows how. Pierce and Dudley were in the mirror for a while. They were afraid for a while. Harry stood up and seemed to be breathing. The window in front of the dragon's pressurized water tank disappeared. A large snake immediately came out and fell to the ground. All the reptiles screamed and ran away. When the snake caught him, Harry swore, Brazil, I'm going. Thanks, son. The farmer surprised the animal. This is a glass, he said. Where's the glass? The zoo director has repeatedly apologized and personally offered Aunt Petunia a wonderful sweet tea. Only Pierce and Dudley can survive. Harry saw the snakes working at his ankles every time he spoke, but when everyone returned to Uncle Vernon's car, Dudley told them they were snakes. Almost caught. Pierce cut off his leg, cursed, and tried to kill him. Worst of all, Pierce quietly asked Harry, is Harry speaking for himself? Uncle Vernon Perry leaves the house and waits for Harry. He was too angry to speak. He may say, go see the room, stay here, don't eat, before sitting on his chair. Aunt Petunia should run good brandy. Harry waited an hour and slept a long time in the black kitchen. What he will do after leaving the post is currently unknown. They come until they risk eating something in the kitchen. He remembered 10 sad years as a child and his family died in a car accident. He doesn't remember getting into the car when his family died. Sometimes, when I remembered this room for a long time, I came across a strange scene, a bright green light and a burning pain in the forehead. I don't know where the green light came from, but he thought it was a plane crash. His family doesn't care. It was clear that his uncle and aunt never mentioned this and were not allowed to ask questions. There are no pictures in the room. When Harry was younger, he dreamed that the unknown would take him, but that never happened. Dashley is a family, but sometimes he thinks or expects strangers to get to know him on the street. There are also very strange aliens. When the little man in a purple hat went shopping, he took Aunt Petunia and Aunt Dodo with her. When Aunt Pin asked Harry what he knew, he left the store without buying anything. The green granny looked wild and once greeted the bus. A man in a long coat walked down the street that day without a word. The most surprising thing about these people was that they thought they would go if Harry wanted to know more. Harry had nobody at school. Everyone knows that the Doodle Gang hates the strange Harry Potter with their second-hand clothes and broken windows, and nobody wants to join the Doodle Gang.